Welcome to another wonderful edition on this channel, Eddie TV. My name is Ekene, and it's good to see you. If this is your first time of stopping by, you may want to subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoy this video, you like and hit the like button and also the share button. You can also hit the notification bell so that you will always be notified whenever I upload a new video. This channel focuses on family, it also focuses on faith. Today I'm going to be talking about attacks after fasting. As children of God, we all know that fasting is a very important and spiritual exercise that helps us to grow in our walk with God, where our flesh is disquieted, where the desires of our flesh is disquieted, and we're able to align as to know what God is saying or press into God. Even in terms of warfare, the Lord Jesus made us to understand that there are certain kinds of warfare that we cannot fight without engaging in fasting. But I have come to realize over time that even after we have fasted, there are certain reactions that we get that are not always what we anticipate, they are not always what we expect. There are even kinds of prayers that you engage in, and after that prayer, you discover that your experience is not exactly how you imagined it to be. You are thinking, okay, I have engaged in a 3 day dry fast, I have engaged in a water fast for a period of time, and maybe after this fast, I will get this kind of quick result. I will be able to gain access or gain clarity. But right after that fast, you discover that you are even more confused, your mind is even more disturbed, and there are certain kind of experiences that you might now be faced with that would kind of create doubt, create fear, create a kind of a feeling of having engaged in an activity that has brought you to futility. I want to make you understand that these experiences are not they are not unusual. And if anytime you are in that place, the Bible makes us to know in the book of First Peter chapter 5 and verse 9 that we should resist him, knowing that our brethren all over the world are going through the same thing. There is nothing practically peculiar about that. I'm going to use my experience, to buttress this point. Sometime in November last year, in the first week of November last year, I engaged in a 3 day water fast. Okay, just because I wanted to press into God, not necessarily because I had a real challenge that I was a particular need. No, I was just pressing into God, studying more of His Word, spending quality time in prayers, and I wanted to know more of Him. After the 3 day water fast, I Coco, Emily, please, can you take that thing away? After the 3 day water fast, take your book to the room and continue playing there. Thank you. So after the 3 day water fast, it wasn't funny on me, but I did I wanted to do a 3 day dry fast, but I think I lacked the courage. I lacked I have never had this 3 day dry fast on my own personally. So I said, okay, instead of starting off with a 3 day dry fast, why not start with a 3 day water fast and see how it goes? So by the third day, I was so weak, I was very tired, but I was still able to complete the number of days and it went well. Nothing really peculiar happened. Continued pressing into God. I had been on a long term fasting before that 3 days. Long term fast, by which I mean 6 to 3, 6 to 6. And so it was still going on well. But by the last 2 weeks of the month of November, I decided to run a 3 day dry fast. And now this is where I'm going to be explaining why I talked about attacks after fasting. When I engaged in this 3 day dry fast, it was really my first personal 3 day dry fast. I have done 3 days dry fast before, but it has always been in the midst of other brethren. I haven't done it alone. But when I decided to do it this time alone, after the first day, the second, and the third day, I was very weak, I was very exhausted, but I was able to pull through. Right after that 3 day dry fast, it was like all hell was let loose on me. I began to have strange nightmares, terrible nightmares. And I saw that the goal of this nightmare is to make you feel all you've been doing is in vain. I saw all of this. It was an avalanche. The attack was so strong. But what I did in that circumstance was I asked myself, has this exercise, was I actually making contact? Was I making progress with God? Yes, I was. And I understood at that point that what I did made a lot of progress in the spirit. Now, instead of me feeling down, I knew I made so much impact. For Satan to want to make me feel that I have been doing what was not, I have been wasting my time, it meant I have been doing something really impactful. We're made to know in the book of Matthew before, after Jesus was led out of the wilderness, when he was led into the wilderness for 40, to be tempted by the devil after his 40 days fast. The first person he encounters is Satan, and he was there to tempt him. He saw he had been fasting, and this is what the kingdom of hell does. They watch you, they examine you. And when they see that you are getting serious in your work with God, when they see that you are on the path that leads to the results that you need for your destiny, they come in diverse forms to weaken your faith. All these attacks, whether through you see you worrisome thoughts, things going contrary to what you imagine them to be, all of these things are geared at one goal, and that goal is to discourage you. That goal is to make you feel you have been wasting your time. That goal is to make you think what you have been doing has been amounting to nothing. So, what do? You simply stand firm in your faith. You resist him, you don't succumb to discouragement, you don't tell yourself, I have been wasting my time, because apparently you have not been wasting your time. If it was not creating that much impact in the realm of the spirit, the devil will not waste his time to try to discourage you. So rather than be discouraged, you encourage yourself and you resist him. And you tell him what the Lord Jesus told us that he is a liar, because he had always been a liar from the beginning. So I want to make you know that attacks after fasting is not strange. You engage in some kind of warfare prayers, you press into God, you spend quality time with God, and things go negatively. No, it is an attack. And the attack is on your faith. We are to uphold the breast, the shield of faith, wherewith we withstand the fiery darts of the enemy. The fiery darts could be doubt, strange occurrences that could project doubt, unbelief, depression, discouragement, to weaken your faith in God, to make you feel like God is not paying attention to you, to make you feel you're not important, to make you think you've been wasting your time. So when you encounter attacks, when you are done with the fasting and you meet Satan, stand firm in your faith, and when he's done with what he has to say, you tell him, get behind me, Satan. I recognize you and I know you for who you are, that you are nothing but a liar. So I want us to understand that attacks after fasting are not strange. A lot of believers are going through this all over the world. And if you have decided to press into God, if you have decided to seek God's first, seek God and his righteousness, you have decided to engage in the pursuit of God, know that your effort is not in vain, for in every labor there is profit. So I just want to leave us with these words of encouragement, and I believe that you have been encouraged, that your fasting and your pressing into God has a reward. The Bible makes us to know that He's a rewarder of, in Hebrews 11:6, that God is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. When we seek God in fasting, there is a reward that is attached to it. And the reward is that we're going to find Him. And they that see God see His glory, and they are covered in His glory. So as you make this effort as you make these efforts from time to time, I pray that the Lord will keep strengthening you. He will strengthen you the way He has been strengthening me and my brethren all over the world. And He will help us to achieve the essence for which He has called us to be. God bless you. Till I come your way again next time, and have a wonderful time. And bye-bye.